Okay, real quick, I'm going to demonstrate something I was playing around with last night. So, I've got a number of fields here that are hidden. If I click something like this attribute here, you'll see I have the ability to edit the number. If I click on the name field, I can edit that. If I click on the image, I get the image URL. I won't touch that. And then if I do a hard refresh, everything's already persisted to the database. And the way that we wrote this up was we went into the layout JS. And so this is one of those pieces of magic I'm still kind of learning how it works, is the layout events. But we created a global event effectively, since this is the top level element, where if you click anything that has the Editable class, then we're going to run some jQuery selectors where we say stop editing anything that is currently editing by removing the active editing field class. And then the target is going to get the active editor field class added to it. And that is going to talk to the CSS. So go to main.less. We're doing a display none if it's an editable field. So this is on the input specifically. So if I go into my character detail.html, we see you have several of these divs that say it's an editable div and it's got an input inside of it. That input is getting a display none by default, but when you click on this div, then we add a class which is active editing field, and suddenly the input gets styled differently by the main. And there's just a little bit more magic to talk about, which is the fact that when I click on this title element, for example, what I'm actually clicking on is the h1 tag, and that's actually picking up the event because it's inheriting the class above it. So what was happening was I hit this event target. It says, oh, you hit the h1 tag. That doesn't have the field that you're trying to do, and we're going to set that as the active editing field. And that just kind of breaks the whole magic. So what I had to do was I had to do this little hack here, where I walk through the parents of any given target until I find the actual class that says it's editable. So the magic only works because I've got a div, it's editable, and he has a child element that's an input. And if you click on the div or any of its child elements, it's going to walk up the chain until it finds this class, and then it's going to add an additional class to it, which we can see here, active editing field, and then that tells the style, hey, this input is no longer display none. And now I can see it, and I can work with it, and then all the rest of the Meteor magic where I say, I'm going to change a value to foo, and then that's going to fire off an RPC to set it on the database. So that was the piece of magic that I was working on last night. I don't yet know if I think it's brilliant or a hack.